If your team is in need of a pass rusher, my friend, you've come to the right place. We're discussing these awesome prospects of the 2026 NFL Draft Edge Rusher class. Here we have Metro and B. Ross. It's going to be an awesome one going over our top 10 edge rushers. B. Ross is on the road, so that's why he's got a different setup today. Nonetheless, all the same great content. Let's jump into our list. Metro, I want you to list your 10 through 8. Or do you want to go 10 through 7? You tell me, and we'll have B. Ross do the same.
We'll do 10 through 8. So at number 10 for me, I got Romeo Heights. Number 9, I got R. Mason Thomas. And then number 8, I got LT Overton.
And at 10, I have Dennis Sutton, 9, Zion Young, and 8, Romello Height.
Very, very nice. Let's start at the top. We get a guy that's only on B. Ross's list. It's going to be Danny Dennis Sutton, the Penn State edge rusher. B. Ross, tell me about Danny. What are the pros? What are the cons? What do you see in him as an NFL prospect?
When I look at him, what I like about him is he has size and length, but he's not on the size of Keldrick Falk where he's 6'7". He's 6'5", 260, big guy, long arms. He is going to run faster than guys think. He's big, he's long. I like him because I think he's fundamentally sound. He has a plan as a pass rush. He has a plan guys lack, but I've seen those guys fail in the NFL time and time again. Guys who are more consistent, just in terms of their down in and down out, and can contribute throughout 3 downs. When you're talking about that 10th spot, those guys are usually day 2, day 3 picks. You want safe guys. You want guys you can trust to put on the field. So I think he's one of those body types that can do that. I also think he can play in a 4-3 or a 3-4. I think he has scheme versatility. Granted, he plays primarily in a 4-3. I do think he can play in a 2-point stance. He's just not going to be your every down guy. I think he's a good rotational guy who is probably closer to a ceiling, but his floor is so high.
Great breakdown right there. For our next player, this is another one that was only on B. Ross's list, but that does not mean he's not an excellent player. This guy's phenomenal, to say the least. We got Zion Young, the edge out of Mizzou. Oh man, Zion Young. What can you tell me about Zion, Mr. B. Ross?
His body type alone, he's going around 3 off the way he's built. He's built like a Greek god. And then when you throw in the fact that he's raw, he can be molded into a better pass rusher. I think his ceiling's so high. That's why I have him on my list, because his potential is really up there because of his size and length. He's explosive. He does have some functional stiffness in his hips when he tries to run the edge, but that's not where his game lies. His game lies in power, physicality, and using his length at the point of attack. I think his best football is ahead of him. I do think there are better football players right now, but if you tell me in 4 years this guy is a really good football player, I could see that, because I think his ceiling is a lot higher, even the guys that I have on my list. So, like, he's different from my 10th guy, because my 10th guy's a safe pick. I think you take him, you ride out, you know exactly what you're getting for the next 8 years. And I think Zion is more of a gambling pick, but because the potential is so high due to his size, length, explosion, I had to put him at 9. Couldn't put him too much higher, just because he is raw in so many aspects of being a pass rusher. But I think he's one of those guys where when you look up in 2 or 3 years, and he's averaging 10.5 sacks, I won't say I told you so, but I will say it.
That is high praise, but I get it, man. And you know it. If we are seeing players and we're like, the potential is unlimited, that's a coach's dream, man. Because they always think, I can fix him. Like a guy thinks, I can fix her.
I
The
can
red
fix
flags
it.
are there. We don't care. We're going to figure it out. Zion Young's got a ton of upside. Awesome prospect at number 9 on B. Ross's
Yeah.
list. The last player we're going to mention here before we move forward is going to be Romello Height, the edge rusher from Texas Tech. I'm going to have our man Metro talk about him. He's got Romello at 10. B. Ross has got him at 8. I'd let B. Ross go again because he's got him higher, but Metro hasn't spoke yet today. So Metro, please take the floor. Tell me about Romello Height.
Yeah, I came into this wanting to like Romello Height more. I just couldn't really get there with him. Still, he makes my top 10. So for each player, I did sort of a brief little paragraph, 3 to 4 sentences to kind of describe their game the best I could. Romello Height is a 6'3", 240-pound edge rusher. He's a 4-time transfer who's opened the season off strong, but he's kind of cooled off the past couple weeks. He's a good athlete with high-end speed, good bend, and explosive first step. He shows flashes of good technique, and he has a good motor. However, he's got smaller size. He's not going to be good against the run. He's got a tendency to be kind of all over the place, and I think that all kind of holds him back. He needs to clear up his pass rush plan. He's got to play with better pad level, and needs to refine his hand usage. I said height is not going to be a hands in the dirt player. He's going to be sort of an outside linebacker guy who's got to play in a 2-point stance. And for him, one of the biggest reasons why I just can't get behind him, he's had 3 years of lackluster play. Then all of a sudden he goes to Texas Tech, gets to play next to David Bailey and all those guys that are really good there. And magically he's this really good player. Not saying that's 100% why. I just see a lot of flaws to his game that keep me from wanting to love him more. There's a couple other guys down my board that push come to shove, if I'm drafting, I'm probably going to take them over Romelo Height. But the ceiling or the ceiling for Romeo Height is very good. And if he can continue to tap into who he is and what he can do, he's got the potential to be a really good player, but it's just not all there yet.
I like the breakdown. That is what Metro thinks of height. B. Ross, do you have anything different from there, or is it pretty much aligned?
Just a little bit. Just like I have him at 8 because his hand use is elite. Like he knows how to use his hands better than most guys, even guys above him. He just lacks the physical stature of some of those guys. His run game stuff is not pretty. He struggles with big guys. So initially, he is going to be a third down specialist type of guy. But with that being said, he's really good in coverage. Like his ability to flip and run, carry tight ends, match back. Like he can do just things athletically that some of the other bigger guys can't. So like his ceiling is high because I don't think he's done growing. But to Metro's point, I do question like how much of his success is attributed to the fact that he's playing across from another stud. But with that being said, he is a good pass rusher. Like if he can't do anything else, he can line up and create some sort of a rush plan. He has to get better at his counters, just in terms of when speed and bend don't work. Because when he can't win with that early in games, he does not have a counter. It's not till late in games where he kind of figures it out. So I want to see him get better at that. But yeah, like I'm with Metro. Like his lack of size and length at times like bothers me. That's why I couldn't put him higher. And the reason he's higher than the other two guys because like as a pure pass rusher, he just knows he has a knack for it. Like it's kind of hard to teach, but he does have some holes where you can see him getting better and becoming one of the guys where it's not necessarily pretty, but you can see him being very productive.
Love that. I love the two conversations right there. We talked about the upside with B. Ross. We talked about the realistic change in production with Metro. Like, has he not produced for 3 years, then magically happens in his fourth year across from David Bailey. Awesome call outs, good stuff across the board, really good exercise. Now it is time for y'all to introduce
Do you,
seven
sorry, do
through
you want me to talk about
five.
L overtime real quick? Because I don't think he's
Well,
on his list.
I believe, oh, he doesn't
Yeah.
have him. You're right. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Talk about LT
sorry.
Overton, Mr. Metro. You got him at 8 on your list.
Yeah, I'll make this one quick. So Overton, he's 6'5", about 270 plus pounds. He stands out as a dependable, high motor player who's going to be really good against the run. He could play either in a 3-4 or a 4-3 front. 3-4, more of an interior guy. 4-3, a hands in the dirt edge. He's strong at the point of attack, and I describe it as a blue collar effort driven style rather than sort of a flashy, designated pass rush style. He holds his own in physicality. His pass rush nuance and sack production is not ever going to be something he's good at. So it gives him a lower ceiling as a pass rush generator. But he projects to be a sturdy run defender off the edge for teams that need size and reliability against the run. I look at a team like Buffalo that has really good, edge rushers in terms of pass rushers, but they need more of a run defender. I think a guy like LSU Overton would be a perfect fit for them.
Metro as somebody else. I'm at 10. Like that's my secret rankings, but I totally agree with you, man. When it comes to the run game, nobody can quite move him, and he's going to get a job in the NFL like that because of the powers he has in the run fit. Now it is time. We're going to
For
7
sure.
through 5 for Metro and B. Ross. Metro, let me hear 7 through 5, and the B. Ross you could follow.
All right, 7, I got Mateo Uyagalele. 6, I got David Bailey. And 5, I got Joshua Josephs.
7, I have Mason Thomas. 6, Mateo. 5, TJ Parker.
Perfect. The best place to start is going to be with the Oklahoma edge rusher, R. Mason Thomas. Some might say a specialized third down mercenary. Who has him higher? It's looking like that's going to be B. Ross has him higher. He has him at 7. Metro has him at 9. B. Ross, I'm going to let you open this door up. Kick it down. Tell me about Mason Thomas.
It's his first step for me. Like I think he has an explosive first step, uh, and he plays with heavy hands. He's not an overly big guy, but guys who play with heavy hands and can play through contact the way he does are always going to have a chance to have real success in the NFL, like consistent success. Some of those top guys, like when he turns his ear to the ground, he can run the corner and not touch anybody. He plays again like with me and pass rushers, they have to be able to use their hands like effectively in a running pass game. I don't have him higher than 7 because I think the guys above him do better in the run game. I think he does have times where he gets covered up by bigger bodies in the run game just because again he's not a big guy. But when you're talking about being able to rush the passer and win multiple ways, I think he can win on the edge. I think he win with power. So I got him at 7.
I agree. I'm at 9. So for our Mason Thomas, say 6'2", 250 pounds. He's got good bends, high end speed, and good explosiveness off the line of scrimmage. That makes you fall in love with him immediately. He's because he's shorter. He's only 6'2". He's going to have that natural leverage, and he can convert speed to power. He has strong pass rush productivity. However, he's got limited arm length. He's missed a lot of tackles. He's got issues holding up in the run game, which is likely from his size, and that's going to prevent him from being a true 3-down run defender, or sorry, a true 3-down defender. I said Thomas still needs to expand his pass rush repertoire, and his athletic traits give him clear rotational upside. There's gonna be a kind of a trend on my list where I'm not a big fan of these designated pass rushers. A lot of times you're gonna see the comparison to like Nick Bonito, and for me, Bonito is just a one of one. You look at the high end pass rushers in the NFL, a lot of them have length, a lot of them have size, a lot of them are 6'3" and above, 6'4" and above with long, lengthy arms, and they have explosive first steps. Thomas, he's got that first step, and I do think he can get after the quarterback with the speed, but I don't see him being a 3-down player as for a couple of these other guys on this list.
Very nice. Thank you, gentlemen, for that breakdown on our Mason Thomas. Love to see the differences there. Next, we got Mateo Yungalele. Probably said that wrong. It's DJU's younger brother. Is that correct? Someone please correct me if I'm wrong.
Uyagalele?
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank
Sounds
you.
about right.
He's related though, correct? To DJU?
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
There you go. There you go. He is the Oregon pass rusher. And who has him hired? Man, B Ross is just sniping you today. But don't worry. Don't worry, Metro. You're about to get yours up here pretty
Love
soon.
these
So,
dudes.
B Ross, I'm gonna let you open this one up too because you have him ranked at 6. Metro has him at 7.
Yeah, I like Mateo. Like he might be one of my favorites just because I think I know what I'm getting with him. Like when you're talking about a guy, he can play standing up, he can play with his hand in the dirt, he can play as a 5 tech, he can play as a 4 tech in third down, real passing situations. If you line him up inside, he can have success as well because he has a good first step. He's physical, and the thing I love about him most, he knows where the ball is all the time. Quick game, reverses, counters. He does a really good job of finding the ball. He does a good job of playing with length, playing off blocks. As a pass rusher, he isn't the most dynamic of athletes, but he does have the ability to win on edges. But he more times than not, he's going to play down the middle of guys and just beat them up. Like his game lies in physicality, and I love that about him. But when you're talking about just a really good football player who knows how to play football, this like I think you know exactly what you're getting. Like I mean, it's so many teams who could use a guy who, to me, he is never going to be a 15 sack guy. And I'm good with that because I know he's going to be 8 to 12 most years, and he's going to be a really good run defender. Like he's really good versus the run. He has a natural feel for it. So I'm a big fan of Mateo. I wanted to put him higher, but we just talking about the pass rush stuff. Like he has so many kind of, I'm not gonna say holes, but he's just not as dynamic as the guys ahead of him on both of our lists. We talking about just being able to just truly rush the passer.
Metro, what say you?
Yeah, I said Mateo is 6'5", 270 pounds. He's got terrific size. He carries his weight well. I say he's got decent explosive off the line. He shows good bend, has good ankle flexibility, and he uses his hands well to engage blockers. He's naturally strong, but he still needs to play with a bit more physicality and develop a more varied and reliable pass rush arsenal because he's not going to have a true speed element to his game. Still, I think he's a high upside player whose best football is still ahead of him. He's got a lot of traits right now that you're going to fall in love with, just the look and the feel of the game. But yeah, I 100% agree. He's a smart player, really smart player for Oregon that has the upside to become a 3-down player for you. Right now, immediately, you're looking more of a first, second down than get him off the field for a traditional pass rusher, which some teams go like that. And I think Mateo's got the upside to eventually develop to become a good pass rusher. I also think if he's going to play off the edge, would like to see him maybe take off about 10 pounds just to be a little bit more lean so he can try to become a bit more of a get more speed to his game. But I mean, if he's never going to be a speedy guy, to keep the weight on and just play strong.
You heard it first. Metro says, Mateo, take Ozempic, because if you have that first step, maybe you're going a little bit quicker and higher in the draft.
Ozempic's crazy.
All jokes, but Mateo, awesome prospects. Go to the next one. We got Joshua Josephs. And that's just Metro, man. Metro's got this guy on an island. He's got him up here at 5 on his list for the edge rushers. Metro, I've let B Ross talk all day, but guess what? It's your time to shine, King. Tell us about Mr. Josephs.
Yeah, I love Joshua Josephs. That's why he's in my top 5. I like him more than a lot of these other guys who are these traditional um, DPRs. These guys that are just pass rushers. They're not going to be run defenders. They're just going to be pass rushers. I think Josephs is the best combination of this kind of group of designated pass rushers, where Joshua can be a pass rusher, but he's also good against the run. So Joseph's 6'3", he's about 240 pounds. I still think he could put on a little bit more weight to get to around that 250 range. He's got long arms and a sturdy frame that helps him play bigger than what his listed weight is. He's explosive off the line of scrimmage. He uses his length well and consistently plays with good leverage and a high motor, allowing him to hold up against the run. He generates solid power. His pass rush profile is still developing as he needs to expand more on his skill set, his moves. And he also can struggle against offensive linemen with strong, heavy hands. So he's got to continue to get technical growth and all that stuff. But I think he's got the upside just as much as some of these other guys. Like for David Bailey, for example, who we're going to talk about here in a second. I have him at 6, and I have Josephs over him because I think David Bailey, sure, he's a bit more explosive. He can absolutely fly. Josephs is a bit more of that well-rounded player. And I prefer well-rounded players more so than one-dimensional guys. And I think Josephs has that more nuance to his game than some of these other guys. So big fan of Josephs. I think he's a first-round caliber player.
A+ breakdown, Metro. Guys, for the rest of these players, it's a mixed match of the top 4 for y'all. So we're going to have you announce your final and top 4 picks for the edge rushers. Metro, you go first. B. Ross to follow. Metro, take the floor.
All right, at number 4, I have Cassius Howell. 3, I got Keldrick Falk. 2, TJ Parker. And 1, Ruben Bain Jr.
4, I got Cassius Howell. 3, David Bailey. 2, Keldrick Fault. 1, Ruben Bain.
Let's kick it off right. David Bailey, Texas Tech edge rusher, number 31, causing hell on the edge. He has no gloves, and he looks like an old school player. Who has him ranked higher? Let's take a look. We got B. Ross with him at 3. Metro has him at 6. B. Ross, the floor is yours. Take us away.
Yeah, when you have a knack for just rushing a passer, he's slippery. He has a little spin. He has some quickness. He has twitch to him, and he does all this with no gloves, no sleeves, no nothing. That is the sign. I pay attention to that because guys who don't wear sleeves, them dudes are crazy. I don't care nobody said like he doesn't wear anything. He's out here raw dogging footballs. I don't. I'm not a fan of that, but whatever works for you, that's cool. But no, honestly, watching David Bailey is fun because he can generate consistent pressure as a pass rusher. I like guys like this because the run game is relatively easy to teach. Set the edge, hold your gap. Pretty much, that's the basis of it. He can get better at it because it's times where he is just looking to slip blocks and make plays. But when you look at a lot of pro guys, that's what they do because they don't want to set the edge. They want to just make plays as much as possible. I think David Bailey is going to he's going to have immediate impact because he can rush the passer. You can never have too many pass rushers. Like D coordinators, they want four guys that they don't have to send blitzes. They can line up with four and they can beat five. And I think David Bailey adds that to a D line front because he has quickness, he has twitch, and he has a nuance of using his hands and timing with his feet, being in sync to slip blocks and slip double teams and get off chips because he's getting chipped a lot more and it's not affecting his production. And like I'm not one to say that production translate because it's a lot of time it actually doesn't. We talk about pass rushers because the tackles are so bad in college, but this guy has a no knack for rushing the passer and not just getting sacked, just getting consistent pressure. And I can't, that's like hard to find on a consistent basis. And I think he does it no matter who he plays. He is consistently in the backfield because he knows how to rush the passer. So like the run game stuff, like the more I watched it, the more I was able to say that can be fixed because I've seen guys like that. I've played with guys who Khalil Mack in the run game. If he wants to do it, he can stop every run play. So can Michael Parsons, Miles Garrett. Not saying that David Bailey are those guys, but the run game is very selective for a lot of edge rushers. But I think David Bailey plays with enough of a motor to where if it's instilled in him early in terms of playing in the NFL, he'll be fine at it. But his ability to just find ways to win is what I really love about him. He's a very nuanced pass rusher. So I'm a big fan.
Russ, I think you make a great point that like in the NFL, you have the quarterback who is completely changing the destiny of your team. And the best way to stop a team from being successful is to rush the hell out of the passer and stop that quarterback. So David Bailey could be the exact answer you need for your team when it's third down, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. We need to pass the ball. David Bailey's screaming off the edge, making a play for our team. Metro, what's your ranking? Let's talk about him.
Yeah, so I got him at 6. Cassius Howell, Joshua Josephs, David Bailey, they are 4A, 4B, 4C. There is certain elements to their game that put me in certain rankings, right? So Josephs, I like his arm length. Cassius Howell, it's got not the arm length is bad on that one, but I liked his film a little bit more. David Bailey is my 4C because he's got some bad character concerns to him. And I am usually not a character person. I could give a damn 99% of the time. I do not care. Just play football and sign the check. This guy was fighting a cameraman, a dude on the sideline, and to me, I just can't get behind that. So, for David Bailey, he's 6'3", 245 pounds. He's got outstanding explosiveness off the line. He's a constant disruptor as a pass rusher. He shows impressive bend, flexibility, and downhill power, paired with a high motor that makes him tough for blockers to get their hands on him. Despite his effort, his size limits are going to limit him against the run, and with a frame that's likely maxed out, he may not be a full 3-down defender without added pass rush tools. Bailey's evaluation is also complicated by character concerns, including kicking a player, and I think it was when he was with Stanford, and getting into a fight with the cameraman. This reminds me a lot of Mike Green and I liked Mike Green, and maybe I'm punishing David Bailey's ranking because of the way that I felt about Mike. But when Mike Green came out of Marshall, it was a lot of similar things where he's a little bit smaller. Arm length is not the greatest, but he's got a bag of pass rush moves and he's athletic as hell, but he's got character concerns. Now, the character concerns have not affected him, but he made it to Baltimore and has not been great for them, right? David Bailey kind of reminds me of Mike Green a little bit, and I'd much prefer Mike Green as a player. There's too many times on tape where David Bailey goes up against a double team in run blocking and just gets pushed 5 yards down the field. It just happens too often for me. And against high-end NFL linemen, there's going to be times where he's going to be double teamed, and you're going to have to be asked to, not get pushed back 5 yards. Can you get pushed back 1 yard? Can you mug up the line? Too many times where I saw that. Now, as a pass rusher, he can absolutely fly. He can 100% fly. But I feel like there's times where he's really getting after these tackles that I just think are slow-footed. And I'm like, in the NFL level, you'll go up against slow-footed guys, and you can expose them. You go up against DeJuan Jones, you're going to have 15 sacks that day. But when you go up against these athletic tackles that can actually move a little bit, the Penei Sewells of the world, he is just not going to be strong enough to have any sort of power to his game against those type of tackles. So for me, maybe I'm nitpicking him a little bit, but I'm not a big fan of these smaller edge rushers. Again, because there's only one Nick Bonito, right? And Micah Parsons is one of one too. And even Micah is around 250 something pounds, right? So that's my thoughts on Bailey. I think he's a really talented player. I think Bailey is going to go higher than where my ranking has him. I think he's probably going to be the second or third edge rusher off the board. And I can see it. He definitely has the talent. He can definitely get there, but I just couldn't quite get there with David Bailey. And the character concerns are just kind of an added weight to him.
I like to hear both sides. Bailey, tons of upside on third down, but first and second, things to be desired. And then when you put a camera in his face, also things to be desired there. Let's go to 4. We have Cassius Howell. Cassius Howell is the edge rusher for A&M. To break down his profile, he wasn't supposed to be this successful, but he has overcome these odds, man. He doesn't have the build, he's got shorter arms, but he just
Yeah.
keeps getting sacks all day long. Who has him higher? Oh, y'all both have him at 4. I let B Ross go first a lot. So Metro, tell me about Cassius Howell of A&M.
4.
Yeah, Cassius is 6'2", about 248 pounds. He's got elite production this year. I think he's at 12 sacks on the season.
Damn.
And the athletic traits to match it. He's an explosive mover with great bend, strong body control, and a deep bag of pass rush moves. All are fueled by his relentless motor. Howell's limitations do show up in the run game, where his play strength, size, and arm length are going to hold him back, making him unlikely to be a true 3-down player. As an older prospect with clear physical constraints, he'll be valued primarily as a pass rush impactor. His arm length is very concerning, but he's gone against SEC competition, and he's having a crap ton of success. I mean, he is just he has all the tools and knows how to use his hands, has the flexibility, has the bend, and has the body control that I still think he can be a high-end pass rusher in the NFL level, but I would take him off the field the second that you think it's going to be a run play because he's just going to get pushed around out there. Now, he tries. I'll give him that. He 100% tries. I mean, this dude has a motor for days, and he's going to try, and he has really good body control. But just the size element, he's going to have a hard time getting hands on these tackles, especially these long arm tackles. But as a pass rusher, I mean, he's got moves that very few guys do. Ghost moves, counters, everything you want out of Cassius Howell as a pass rusher. He's got the tools to do so. So as a pass rusher, I think he's one of the best in this year's class. As an overall prospect, though, again, I just have a hard time putting him higher because I don't see him as a 3-down player.
Yeah, like you're spot on. It's the like he plays with an excellent motor. He plays, I mean, hair on fire from snap to whistle, which I love. Why I couldn't put him higher because like I don't know how he's going to win at the next level. That's why I question because I don't. He's not. He is a energy and motor guy, but he's productive at it, and it's guys who have had success doing that. Um, but when you're talking about just the nuances of being a pass rusher, I don't think he has that. And then versus the run, to Metro's point, he tries, but it's just is he's just a smaller guy. He's not a big guy with long arms, or he's not a guy with just overly long arms for his size. Because if he's what 6'3", like 245, but he had 34-inch arms, we'd be talking about a different player.
100%.
But he probably has 31 and a half, 32-inch arms,
Yep.
which for edge rushers is really short. So, like he plays the game the right way. He can bend. He can turn his ear to the ground. He can run on the edge of his feet. But when you're talking about a counter move and playing with power or going speed to power, that's where I think that's where his head is getting hit on the ceiling because unless he has something else in him that we don't know about, I don't know if that aspect of his game is ever going to get any better.
Totally fair, gentlemen. Overall, Howell is who you do not want to see on third down. And when it's the run game, you know what? We'll live with that because he produces so much rushing the passer. And after all, he's an edge rusher, so that's his job. At number 3, the player we're going to talk about, we got TJ Parker, the Clemson edge rusher. A little bit about him. Had a crazy good 2024. 2025 has been good, just not the level we saw back a year ago. Now, for rankings, Metro has him at 2. B. Ross has him at 5. So, Metro, you got him here in the top 2. Not quite 1, but why is he all the way up in your second place spot?
Yeah, I'll say it again. I am a big fan of guys that I think can be 3-down contributors. If I don't think you can be a 3-down guy, I'm just gonna push you down the board naturally because of it. Even if you have a high end pass rush upside, TJ Parker, man, 2024, he was everything, right? He was a great pass rusher, a great run defender, but he was still kind of getting there. He wasn't fully fleshed out yet. 2025, it feels like he's basically the same guy, right? So he hasn't really improved a whole bunch, but I also wouldn't say he's gotten worse. So that gives me some hope that there's still more left in the tank with him. So Parker, 6'3", 260 pounds, with a sturdy build and a high floor profile. His 2024 season was elite, though 2025 saw no improvement with limited growth in explosiveness or twitch. Parker wins more with power than finesse, using a strong first step, dependable tools, and a reliable run defense to anchor his game. While his ceiling may be moderate, he offers a safe, consistent presence on the edge. This is somebody who, if you have a rising pass rusher, or if you have an established go-to guy, TJ Parker is the perfect complement to him. Like in a ideal world, you have David Bailey on one side, TJ Parker on the other side, because their play styles just would mesh perfectly. Parker, I don't ever know if he's going to be a true 1A on the defensive line. He's not going to be Micah. He's not going to be Max. He's not going to be Myles Garrett, anything like that. At least I don't think so. He has talent. I don't know if he's ever get to that moment though. But if you tell me TJ maxes out as a 10 sack a season guy, wouldn't be terribly surprised because he can get after the quarterback. He's got good nuance and he's going to be really good against the run. I see him very much so as like a high end, better version of like a Dorrance Armstrong, but a much higher end version of him. So that's what I think with TJ. I just like the fact that I can trust him on first, second, and third down, and he can be a starter for me for several seasons.
Tons of upside there, B. Ross. What's your analysis at 5 here for TJ Parker?
Yeah, so when you watch TJ, he's really good versus the run. He know how to shed block. He know how to stack block and shed, set the edge, and I think he's pretty advanced as a pass rusher in terms of technique, using offensive line's leverage against him. Like he knows how to rush the passer. Where my issue lies for a guy that's after watching last year's tape and then watching this year's tape is that I think he's almost like he's at his ceiling in terms of athleticism. So that limits to me how much better he's going to be just in terms of I don't think he has any real juice as a pass rush. I think he knows how to do it. When we talk about explosion and quickness and twitch, I don't think he has that. And then his and then like to me, I was expecting just a more consistent player. He was so inconsistent down in and down out to where his pad level was very consistent versus the run. And then later in the games when they needed him to be a guy, he just wasn't showing up the way I thought he probably should for a guy with top 10 projections. So like I think he has the talent, but to Metro's point, he has to go to a place where they already have a guy. Because if you expect him to be the 1A guy, you're going to be disappointed when he's 1B to me. Like, and then he'll be considered a bust, which I don't think that's fair to the kid. I think he needs to go somewhere where they already have one or two guys maybe, and then he's your third guy. He's your third young guy coming in, and then he learns, he gets a little better. And I see a 10 to 12 sack guy with a handful of tackles for a loss because I actually think he's better versus the run when he actually plays up to that level. But his play is to me is just very inconsistent this year. Last year, different guy. It's a totally different guy on tape. That's why I had to push him down because I'm like, you're not even in the same atmosphere as you were last year. And to me, it's more so of effort, urgency, and intent more so than the actual talent. I think the player is still talented. I just think the effort, the urgency. I think he starts sipping the Kool Aid. Everyone starts telling him how great he is, and you can see it sometimes in his play because it's like you should be kicking these tackles ass from LSU, and you're like it's like you're winning, but you're not impacting. So I think his best football is still ahead because I think he's going to have some improve because I don't think he's going to go as high as he thinks. So I think that'd be an extra motivating factor. But and then I also think he is kind of limited just on the basis of I think he has to play in a 4-3. I don't think he's a guy who can stand up and drop if need be or play like he can rest standing up, but he's not a traditional 3-4 linebacker. So I think he's best served to play with his hand down, playing a 4-3. I think a place like Cleveland would be good for him. Go play alongside Myles Garrett. Go play opposite of Myles Garrett because he's going to get a lot of one-on-ones and he's going to have ample opportunities to win, and he'll learn how to be a pro from one of the best to ever do it. So I like TJ Parker. It's just I was expecting more when I really studied the tape and I didn't get it. And I probably nicked him for that because the hype you hear and what I saw, it just didn't line up.
B. Russ, I like that input because at least I can relate to that. I think TJ Parker's crazy talented, but like you said, the only logical explanation is that he heard that, hey, I'm gonna be a top 10 pick regardless. I'm that dude. Nobody can touch me. And that, but like I'm guessing here, I don't know the guy like that, but we go into 2025, it's just not remotely the same, at least in my eyes. But without a doubt, we know he's got that talent, like Metro mentioned. If he comes into full
Absolutely.
form, he's going to be an absolute weapon in the NFL. Guys, not quite there yet, but we're at number two. We're going to talk about Keldrick Falk, the Auburn. I'm just going to say shit wrecker, man. He is so strong. You put him anywhere on that D line. I'm going to have B. Ross start. He's got him at 2. Metro's got him at 3. B. Ross, tell me about Keldrick Falk.
Like honestly, he was a tough guy to watch just in terms of I don't know if he's really an edge guy,
Mhm.
like a traditional just edge guy. Because honestly, he looks more like a 5 tech or a 4 tech who plays 3-4 in and just beats up on
Mm,
guards and tackles interchangeably because of his size. I mean, you got to think he's 6'6", what 275, almost 280. Like he's a couple Big Macs away from just being a 300 and being an interior guy. But I don't know if that actually fits his skill set because he does have length and knows how to use it. And for a big guy, he does a really good job of running on the edge of his feet. And what I mean by that is guys who like run, bend the corner, run the hoop, and they're able to turn their ear to the ground and get to the quarterback. I think he's really good at that. I think his ability to rush inside and out does help him in terms of guys. It is hard to get a beat on him because you don't see him every snap on the edge, and he does a good job of changing how he rushes, just in terms of his hand usage and how he attacks uh, sides. Like interior guys, they tend to win on edges, outside edges, unless they're Aaron Donald, they can win down the middle more times than not. And but then as the edge guy, sometimes he's quick enough to beat guys off the spot. I don't think he's going to be quick enough in the NFL to win on edges versus tackles because he doesn't have an elite first step. Like it's good enough, but nothing elite. I like the player due to his size and length, but I don't know if he's just a real edge dude. Like I see him more as a 3-4 in. I don't think he's a 4-3 D tackle, but I also don't think he's a 4-3 edge guy. Like he's a gray area guy for me. Like I think he's one of those guys where if you love him, you love him, and if you don't, you don't, and that's fine. Um, where he needs to get better is honestly just having a consistent pass rush plan. I don't think he ever kind of knows what he wants to do, whether he's inside or out. But he has the physical tools, and then he has to learn how to play with his hands, like play through contact. He likes playing around guys and laying blocks and throwing them to the side, which works in college. In the NFL, that's a really good running back hitting that line so fast. So, but I also think part of that is because he plays multiple spots on that D line, and I don't think he's ever learned just this is what I need to be good at based on how I'm built and my skill set. So he was a tough guy, but I see the talent, I see the potential. I said earlier, he reminded me of Anthony Nelson from Iowa when he came out because they're similar build. Anthony Nelson, 6'6", he was 265, 270. And in Tampa, they use him as a 3-4 in. I mean, no, they use him as a 3-4 in and as an outside linebacker. So that would have to be his role. But he was a tough watch because I just don't know where you play this dude, honestly. Like I, but good player nonetheless, due to his size and length. But he was a tough guy to watch.
Yeah, so this was the hardest one to rank. I kind of came away with this class a little bit like I don't love these edge rushers outside of Ruben Bain. Like I just kind of felt like there's a pretty big drop off for me. And with Falk,
Fair.
I just I'm struggling to put Falk in a top 25 pick because there are a lot of examples of guys that come in that weird, awkward position of like, are they an edge or are they an interior defensive lineman? And they never really pan out Jerzon Newton hasn't been great for the Commanders. Kalijah Cansey hasn't been great for the Buccaneers. They've had moments. They've looked good at times, but they've never been able to completely put it together. And even Anthony Nelson, to an extent, who is a bigger dude, 6'7", 271 pounds, he's a good pass rusher, but he's never been a good run defender, right? And for Falk, yes, he's 6'6", he's 280 pounds. He's got good athleticism for his size. He's got great strength. He's got versatility to play in multiple spots. He gets off the ball well. He thrives as a true hand in the dirt player, especially against the run. But despite his physical gifts, it hasn't yet translated to consistent on the field production. And in terms of where he plays, I just don't know. Do you kick him inside, let him put on 10 more pounds, and then develop him as a true interior player? Or do you say, let's lose 10 pounds and play you as a 4-3 edge? And then there's the other question, too, of like, okay, if you move him there as a 3-4 interior defensive lineman, that's where I think he probably is best suited at, right? Not as an outside linebacker, not as a 4-3 edge, but as a 3-4 interior defensive lineman. If you put him in there, can he translate it? Because again, we've seen this a few times now where you get these guys who are big dudes, but they're not an edge nor a true interior guy, and they never work out, at least not to their full maximum potential. Because Jerzon Newton was a projected first rounder. I believe he went early round 2. Kalijah Cansey went round 1. I just fear that Keldrick Faulk's going to kind of fit into that mold. And if you run a 4-3, I do not like the fit as either an edge or an interior guy, unless you're really looking for an interior guy that can absolutely fly around and get after the quarterback. So he's a weird one to me because I can see it. I can see why people like him, but I can also see why people would not touch this guy at all. And I'm kind of a bit towards the I wouldn't draft him side. But if a team that like Baltimore would be a good fit, Buffalo would be a good fit. These teams that run a 3-4 that have enough talent around him, I think would be good fits. But if you're running a traditional 4-3, I just have a hard time seeing it. So, but he's a fun player, really fun to watch.
I love the breakdowns. Genuine question for both of y'all. I'll let Metro go first and be Ross, or just whoever wants to input. Question's going to be Keldrick Faulk to me is a 3-4 defensive end, not a linebacker, but a 3-4 defensive end, or even kick him into 3-tech and just let it ride. What do y'all say to that? Why do you disagree? And why do you think that works?
I think you're right. I think 3-4 DN, 3-4 interior guy. I just think that's where he's best fitted because in a 3-4, if you're playing kind of that edge / interior guy, you traditionally are playing next to a guy in the middle that is just massive, like a Vita Vea, for example, and they can be the ones that eat up the blocks and whatnot. And so for him being 280-ish pounds, it's just kind of a better fit, right? Because he doesn't have to be that 300-pound guy. And he's also not flying off the edge outside the tackle and having to be 250, right? But at 280, you get to play him, line him up between the guard and tackle. That's where he can be a bit more disruptive. He can beat up on slow-footed guards. And when tackles are worried about these outside linebackers that are flying through, he can have those one-on-ones versus those guards, and he's going to have the advantage because he's just faster and just as strong. So in that role, I think he fits. As a true interior piece, which is, again, kind of that 4-3, I just worry a little bit more because in a 4-3, you got the slower edge rushers who, don't have the same level of athleticism as an outside linebacker traditionally. So, he can make it work, but 280 pounds in a 4-3, you're going to have to decide where you want him. In a 3-4, you can just place him into a spot. So that's why I like him more there.
Yeah, like he has to go to the right fit. Like when you look at Kalijah Cansey, he's 280, but he's only 6 foot. Really, like he's really only like 5'11.
6 foot, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, Fault, to your point, both you guys, like I think he's best suited to be a 3-4 DN, but he could be a 4-3 like just penetrator. He just gets upfield and he just disrupts. But again, like, does he want to do that? Like, it's like part of this, like what a little scout's tip. You can draw up all the scenarios in the world. If they don't want to do it, they won't do it, and it'll be a waste of a draft pick. So to me, Keldrick Faulk is one of those guys you have to have a plan for, and he has to be the kid wired right to want to buy into said plan. Because if not, and you get him somewhere where you tell him we want to put you at 3 tech and we want you to put on 15 pounds, and he's like, no, why? Because 3 techs don't get paid as much as edge guys. They don't. And that's what he's looking at. He's looking at long term, I make more as an edge guy. Even if I'm a rotational edge guy, I make more. So yeah, it's just he's one of those guys where you have to have a plan, and I think the plan should be somewhere who someone who runs a 3-4, like Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh runs a 3-4. Put him at strong side DN, let him beat up on tight ends because he does that at a high level. Let him beat up on guards if you kick him inside on third down, and I think that's where his value lies. With first, second down, he plays away from the ball. Third down, he slides inside, and he can be an interior pass rusher. As he, and you got to think this kid's still young, so I don't think he's done growing in terms of his weight and his frame. But I just, I like the player. It just depends on what you want to do with him.
Thank you for entertaining me, gentlemen. Now it's time for number one. We have the greatest supervillain of all time. Nobody cared who I was till I put on the mask. We have Ruben Bain Jr., baby, the Miami D end. And we both got him at 1, as in Metro and B. Ross. Metro, take the floor. Tell me about this supervillain, Bain.
Yeah, Bain is the best of both worlds. He's a good pass rusher and a good run defender, and he's got good size to where it will translate to the NFL level. Now, I said for Bain, he's 6'3", 270 pounds, with a strong frame and impressive quickness for his size. He can win with power at the point of attack, and he's shown flashes of having a diverse set of pass rush moves paired with really good bend. His productivity has slowed down a little bit. He had a really hot start to the season. He's still really good, but he hasn't just been that unbelievable player, but he's still being really good. I think he could benefit from developing more explosiveness off the snap and sharpening his overall nuance. Bain also needs to become more consistent against the run, but the tools are clearly there for a long-term upside. This guy, he's going to be in contention for the first overall pick. Really, a lot of my concerns with him are kind of nitpicky. I think he's going to be a really good player. I don't know if he's going to be amongst the Myles Garretts of the world. That's a high bar, but you put him in that second tier of pass rushers as he develops. I could see him developing into being into sort of that, kind of in the conversation with the Nick Bosa's of the world. He can get to that level. He's just a really smart player, really good player. He's got everything you want in an edge rusher: long arms, good length, good size. I would like to see him maybe drop to 262, around that range, just to be a little bit more explosive. But if he can maintain that weight at 270 and still be more explosive, then hey, I'm all here for it.
Yeah, this dude was fun to watch. I disagree a little bit. I thought his explosion was real. At 270, at 270, 275, his ability to beat tackles' hands before they touch him, he's already been in the corner. It was so impressive. He was fun to watch because of the way he can defeat angles. They know the snap, they know where the ball's going, they know and he's destroying angles consistently. And I love how heavy his hands are. If he was a boxer, he's Mike Tyson in his prime. If he gets his hands on you, you are moving. He does not play passive with his hands. I think he plays with a high motor. I think he knows how to rush the passer, but I don't think he has a true counter move. That's where I think he's going to struggle. Where if he can't win with speed and he can't win with power, what is his next move? Because you rarely see him win back inside, or you rarely see him set up a move where he goes 2 steps up and then comes under. It's either he's winning with power or he's running on the edge of his feet. But he is a very fun player to watch. I don't know if him dropping weight will benefit him, just because he lives in there in the he loves power. He is Bane. He is, I want to get close to your body and beat you up, and I enjoy that for him because he's really good at it. He knows how to get tackles off balance and abuse them in ways that they haven't been done before. So I think he's best suited to play in a 4-3. To Metro's point, though, if a team who runs a odd front wants him to play on the edge, he's gonna have to be 265, 260 to me to consistently hold up in terms of just rushing the passer for as much as those guys do, and for the coverage stuff that they would ask him to do. But when you're talking about just a really good football player who can do everything at a pretty good level, pretty high level, I mean, this was clear cut number one. To Metro's point, after him, the drop off is actually really big. Like guys are then put in tiers after that. It's just a matter of your flavor, what you're looking for, who you like. But he's one. If he's sitting right there staring you at the board, you just take him and you don't overthink it.
Badass analysis, B. Ross. You mind if I take out a Krispy Kreme one more time and just kind of throw my analysis on this guy? Because might as well. I mean, it's Ruben Bain.
Go for it.
Is that okay?
Go for it.
Let's go.
Approved. Bain is the ultimate villain on the defensive line. He is excellent fundamentals, utilizing hand placement, leverage, and footwork to amplify this already elite strength and twitchiness. As a pass rusher, he's the ultimate threat, and he can run the hoop outside, setting up lethal inside moves. When it comes to pass rush moves, he's got a chop, a swipe, even a Euro step for his big ass, and of course, a bull rush. When you take a guy like Bain, you're going to sleep like an absolute baby because you know what you're getting on your D line. I love him. Maybe he's not a Myles Garrett type, guys, but he is pretty close as it gets to not missing in the first round. Any final thoughts? I'll throw it to Metro, then be Ross to close us out.
No, it's a good deep class. I do believe the high end talent in this class is maybe a little overstated. There's a great Ruben Bain. Then I think there's a bit of a drop off where you have sort of this big, muddled up TJ, Keldrick, David Bailey, Cassius Howard. I like Josephs. And then there's some high upside guys in that third tier that I think are worthy bets to bet on. The R. Mason Thomases, the Mateo Uyagalales, Zion, Danny Dennis Sutton, the other kid from Missouri too. I was about to put him in my top 10. He was really close. But yeah, there's some guys in this year's draft class that are really good.
Yeah.
But I don't also want people to get ahead of themselves and think this is like an all-time edge rushing class. It's good. It's not all-time though.
Yeah, you're spot on. Like it is talented top to bottom, but it isn't we're not talking I could be wrong, but I don't think, we're not talking 6 Hall of Famers who are going to get drafted throughout the entirety of this draft and guys to show up. Like, I don't see that. I do think it is a deep class with plenty of talent, but it all depends on just your flavor. Do you like ice cream? Or do you like sorbet? Or do you like cheesecake? You like chocolate cake? It's all dessert at that point, but just what are you feeling in that moment? And does it fit your appetite when it comes to game time? So,
fellas and ladies, thank y'all for watching this far in the video. If you enjoyed, please drop a like. It boosts the algorithm a ton, so thank you very much. Comment your top 5 edge rushers down below. We want to hear your thoughts and compare our list to yours. And most importantly, we're on the way to 1K, and it starts with you. Subscribe and propel us all the way to that spot. It starts with you guys. Thank you for your support. We appreciate you guys more than you know. Have the best day. Love y'all. Metro, get us out of here.
We appreciate you guys for being here. Hit that like and subscribe button. Peace out.